Facebook is now rolling out its new system in an effort to fight the spread of bogus news. The social media network is now using third-party fact checkers that will look to flag any articles that do appear to be fake. Users can also report possible hoaxes that they see in their feeds. Facebook has been under heavy scrutiny since the presidential election, in part because some critics argue that false stories may have indirectly or really directly influenced the results. For more, we turn to CBS News contributor Nicholas Thompson here. So again, Nick, what exactly did Facebook announce?
So they announced that first of all, the most important thing is they announced that we are taking this problem seriously and we are taking action. Yeah. We denied it for a little while. Now we've come to our senses and we realize this is a real thing. So what they're allowing users to do is if you see a story and you say this story is fake or this story is a hoax, you flag it. If a bunch of stories are flagged, and if they have other signals like certain words in the comments, then those things get sent to a bunch of reviewers at Facebook who say, is this from a legitimate domain? Is this something? And then it gets sent to a third-party fact-checking service like Snopes. And if Snopes says something is false, an article is attached from Snopes saying this is false, and then a little banner will appear on Facebook saying, third-party fact-checkers dispute this information. And then when you try to share it, there'll be a little cigarette warning that pops up that says,
a little banner.
You sure you want to share this story? Because it's probably bogus. So what I think the effect of this will be that stories that start getting shared wildly after they're posted, like Trump endorsed by the Pope, will be shot down and will disappear from Facebook fairly quickly.
That's one scenario, I suppose. In the aftermath of this election especially, isn't there also another scenario wherein that disputed banner becomes something of a badge of honor for those who were consuming to begin with?
No, this is a critique that I think a lot of people have. I actually think that critique is wrong. I think that the banner, it will not become a badge of honor, in part because what Facebook is going to do is it's going to punish these things in the algorithm. You only see a tiny fraction of what your friends share, and if Facebook puts a negative marker on a story that has been flagged by Snopes, you're never going to get a chance to see the badge of honor. Also, I think that people will realize that they're not going to put this is false on a story that's partisan or that's slightly misleading or that's just pro-Trump or pro-Hillary. They're going to put it on stuff that's a lie. And I think most people don't want to spread lies.
Okay. How was this then informed by the earlier controversy that Facebook had been suppressing conservative views in said news feed, which in part led from moving it from human curators to the algorithms, which some say, in fact, led to the disseminate. The circle is now complete. We're back to kind of where we started, it would seem.
I think you're absolutely correct that these things are deeply connected, but I think they've led us to a totally different place. Okay. So I think it was in the spring, there was a controversy where one of the people who worked on this little tiny thing, the trending stories module, said, hey, we suppress conservative stories in favor of liberal stories. Facebook said, oh man, we don't want anything to do with this. We're getting all the humans out of it. We're going to invite all the conservatives to come meet with Mark Zuckerberg. And Facebook said, we don't want to make anybody angry. Lots of Republicans use their platform. They're very worried that we're going to try to swing the election. We're going to get out of this business completely. And I think Facebook's decision there is part of what made them blind what was happening. Yeah. Because the spread of fake news, it was in this election cycle mostly a partisan thing, mostly pro-Trump. Yeah. But it's not intrinsically a partisan thing. It's just got to do with accuracy, and people who use Facebook want the stories they read to be accurate and true. They want to feel good afterwards. And so I think Facebook overreacted to that scandal this spring, and in response, that's part of what blinded them to what was happening this summer. Now Trump has been elected, and they said, oh, we've taken a much closer look. We realize this is a serious thing, not just for our country, but for our users. Let's try to solve it.
So there are going to be people, though, and I saw a piece yesterday evening, so an immediate reaction here, that are going to basically say this is Mark Zuckerberg attempting to participate in, if not actively lead a fight in, a culture war that he cannot hope to win.
Well, people will say that, and that will be the critique. I don't think that's the truth of what Facebook is doing. I think what Facebook is trying to do is they're not trying to swing politics. They're not trying to, make it harder for Donald Trump to govern. What they're trying to do is they're trying to make their platform be a place where, humanity connects and talks about things that are real, not a place where humanity gets enraged at each other and talks about things that are malarkey.
But they have made repeatedly the very simple comment: we are a tech company. We are not a media company.
Right. So this is a really important thing. Facebook is a platform, not a publisher. That's why when a story is flagged as false, it won't say Facebook says this is false. It will say Snopes disputes this story. And that, I think, is a really important distinction. And I think every change that Facebook makes, they're going to make the company itself a significant degree removed from the actual decision.
So this will allow them, because one could argue, who's Facebook to say anything? It's a platform.
Right. Facebook
come
isn't
here
saying
and talk
anything.
about anything. This is a service, essentially.
Right. So what Facebook is trying to do is, so they're trying to sort of walk. It's not quite.
Because I feel like we're having a philosophical conversation without necessarily having. There's like a philosophical conversation to be had with the financial back end here, right? Because also we're talking about ad revenue. If you make this, if the Macedonian sites are now no longer making money here, perhaps they will just go away.
Right. So, I think the Macedonian sites will go away because they're not making money.
Yeah.
The other interesting financial question is, people really like sharing fake news. So will this decrease engagement on Facebook? Will Facebook make less money? I mean, that's partly why they were like willfully denying.
What do you think? I have to get you out of here, but I need an answer to that question.
I think Facebook's going to make more money. I think people were feeling dirty about reading Facebook lots of people were engaging with fake news. Fake news is engaging, but it makes you feel bad. If you feel bad after you do the service, you're not going to want to use it as much. I actually think this makes economic sense for Facebook, but I can't be certain about that. And if it doesn't, it will be interesting, right? If people start spending less time on Facebook because all these ridiculous memes and lies aren't circulating, will Facebook backtrack? I don't think so, but that's the question.
Questions to answer perhaps the next time you join us. Nick Thompson, as always.
Glad to be here.
Thanks.